Welcome to the Sporty Sibling Podcast,
where we score touchdowns and make baskets.
To Trier. Trier drives down and throws it down. Oh, Alonzo Trier.
Today they're gonna match off and talk about
Welcome back to the latest episode of the Sporty Sibling Podcast, where we dive into some of the biggest headlines in sports. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another great show, another great week. And yes, what are we going to talk about, you may ask? Well, first we're going to start with my 10 NFL bold predictions. Yes, those are my topics. 10 NFL bowl predictions. Some you will agree with. Others, you may question me. But I guarantee you, you will like every single one. Then, we're going to talk about the sleepers to win every Power 5 conference. Yeah. Who do I have? You'll see. And I think you'll agree with most of them. I think some of them are going to be questionable, though. Then, we're going to talk about the 10 things we learned from the NFL preseason. Okay? Preseason taught us a lot this year, and I think it's something that we do need to discuss and share and see what we learned. And of course, with college football's week 0 in the books, let's talk about the winners and losers. Losers, there you go. Because yes, there were winners and there were losers, ladies and gentlemen, and we have to talk about that. So, get ready to unleash your sports passion with the Sporty Sibling Podcast. Now, Panda, take us to our first topic. Thank you, Panda. So, let's get ready for some gridiron excitement as we dive into the realm of daring NFL predictions. In this segment, we'll explore 10 bold forecasts that could reshape the league's landscape. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think they will. I think some of them you will agree with. Some of them you won't. And that's okay. Because that's part of life, not to agree with everything. So, start from the top at number 10. The Packers have the second worst record in the league. I say this simply because of the following. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur has stressed to the media and the Packer faithful to have patience with Jordan Love. This highlights concerns about the young quarterback. Love's lack of experience is noticeable during the preseason, which leads to worries about the potential struggles during the regular season. Additionally, the Green Bay offensive line the offensive line has a bunch of injuries and which don't alleviate the worries and concerns that we have as fans for the Packers. On top of that, Joe Barry's defense experience has declined from last year. They had a good defense last year. This year, they were dropped. Okay? Gotta keep an eye on that, ladies and gentlemen. Numero 9. And I like this one. Actually, I should have put this one lower, but that's okay. 2 players reached 20 sacks this season. I am not, just to put it out there, I am not going to put out there and say that these 2 players are going to come out. No, I think 2 players are the ones that are going to go, are going to do this. 2. Yes. Yeah. But which 2? Let's look at it. Why, not which 2, but why do I think is this 2? Well, we all know reaching the 20 sack milestone in a single NFL season is remarkable. It's only been done a handful of times by 1 player, much less 2. Since the league officially began tracking sacks in 1982, the feat has only occurred 13 times. That's almost nothing. The most recent happened in 2021 when TJ Watt tied the single season record with an impressive 22.5 sacks. And the only time two players managed 20 or more sacks in a single season was in 2014 when JJ Watt notched 20.5 and Justin Houston notched 22 sacks. So to say that this is a record that's very rare, it's to say the least. But it wouldn't surprise to be witness to something like this happening again in the 2023 season. But why do I say this? Let's look at the exceptional pass rushing talents in the NFL with the lines of TJ Watt, who's already done it, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, just to name a few. All these players possess the potential to reach the coveted 20 sack mark. Not only does this make this prospect tempting, but the fact that two could do it this season, it's kind of like it should happen. Put your money on that. Numero 8. Bijan Robinson finishes as a top 5 rusher. Okay? Some of you may be asking yourself, how can a rookie running back make such a significant impact on their first season? Well, the Atlanta Falcons, for one, had the most formidable rushing offense in the league last year. Okay? Ranking third in the NFL for rushing yards per game and second in rush play percentages. Okay? So number one, they have the offense ready in prime situation to have a leading rusher. And mind you, who were they running with last year? Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson. Two great running backs, but not top 5 running backs. They're top 20 at best. With Robinson joining the team, this statistics really should boost his ability of what he can do. And we saw what he can do in the preseason. No, the Falcons' outstanding run blocking and combined with Robinson's skills, we can expect to witness numerous explosive runs and broken tackles, making his rookie season impact so impactful that some may say that it could be a remnant of an Adrian Peterson-like effect during his rookie season. Just saying. At number 7, both Kyler Murray and Mac Jones are in new teams by 2024. Look, let's be serious. Caleb Williams' potential and what he can do, what he's doing in CFP and what he can do in the NFL is really just putting everybody on notice and saying, can he do it in the NFL? Now, all that is putting things against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, specifically if their season goes south, which, based on all the news we've gotten so far, yeah, that's where they're going. This also raises questions about Murray's future in the possibility of a trade or release from the Cardinals. Mac Jones, on the other hand, his performance is closely tied to the division rival of Zach Wilson, both who struggled in 2022. Now, Jones does have limited improvement potential, which, again, like I've said, is a concern. This suggests that the Patriots might not progress far with him at quarterback. Now, as this may be Bill Belichick's last season, he must prioritize strong quarterback to pursue another championship with, whether it be maybe Kirk Cousins or potentially trade for Kyler Murray as potential replacements for Mac Jones, who in reality is not their replacement for Tom Brady. At number 6, Tennessee will be in full rebuild mode by the trade deadline mark. Okay, so in 2021 they were at top of the AFC. In 2022, they entirely missed the playoffs. They have a challenge, and they have a very, very challenging decision to make here. Do they stick with the veteran core they have for another potential shot at the playoffs and Super Bowl? Or they just say, screw it, bye everybody, let's go full-scale rebuild. Based on what I have seen, they don't know what to do. They could go left, right, and they don't know. They're cross-eyed right now. They're like this. And why do I say they're cross-eyed? Well, for 2 years in a row, they've used a day 2 pick to draft a quarterback. Yet they still plan to stick with Ryan Tannehill, who, let's be serious, is on a decline now within his later years. They parted ways with their crucial left tackle, Tyler Lumen, due to financial reasons. And yet, instead of going and getting another left tackle, they used that money from Tyler Lumen to go get DeAndre Hopkins, who is not going to start playing for them right away. Now you see where I'm going with this? On top of that, Derrick Henry is having an impressive season. This is true. Has had impressive seasons, I'm sorry. His yards per carry average have significantly declined from his 2019 and 2020 Pro Bowl year. How significantly? Well, they went from 5.2 to 4 yards per carry in both 2021 and 2022. Who does this sound like? Oh, I don't know. Ezekiel Elliott? The Titans need a clear sense of direction, which new general manager Rand Carden should address before the trade deadline. Hence why I say they'll be on full rebuild mode. Now, we can suppose that the team continues to struggle, likely due to their limited impactful offseason acquisitions. In that case, they might become sellers acquiring draft picks and young assets to kickstart their rebuild phase. Or they can just stick where they're at now and say, F it, I'm done. But I think Rand Carthon sees the situation and makes some big changes. So I think that's what's gonna happen. Number 5. Gannon is one and done in Arizona. What? Huh? You said they're gonna get rid of Kyler Murray. Now you're saying that they're gonna fire this head coach? What? Not the Arizona Cardinals. Please. We all know that Arizona hiring Jonathan Gannon was more of an impulsive hire than genius work. We all know it. Arizona doesn't see it or knows it, but we do. Let's admit it. I'm admitting it, so can you. But this is the same guy who not only did not want to talk to the press after the Super Bowl, where his top defense, fell apart, while also being caught in multiple lies during a press conference about his time in Philly. Get it now? Are you seeing it? Okay, fine. Let me add more facts. Arizona not only has the worst roster in the league, but we have yet to determine when, if at all, Kyler Murray will play this season. We know he's going to start in the PUP list, so he's going to miss the first 4 games minimum. That doesn't tell us exactly when he's going to start. We can all agree that Gannon is steering a sinking ship. Also, looking at the next year's potential head coach candidates and the fact that Arizona will likely have their first overall pick, makes everything pointing that Gannon is going to be one and done in Arizona. Put money on it, ladies and gentlemen. Put money on it. At number 4, Justin Jefferson will have a 2,000-yard receiving season. Guaranteed. Take that shit to the bank, baby. No wide receiver in the NFL, not the great Jerry Rice or Randy Moss, have done this. But they have not amassed 2,000 receiving yards in a single season. The only players to have done this is Calvin Johnson, Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson, who came close by setting a 2012 record with 1,964 yards, and only took a decade later for someone to even get close, which was Cooper Kupp, who reached 1,947 yards. However, in 2023, Justin Jefferson is ready. It's not appears, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever says appear, no, is ready to etch his name in the record books. This achievement marks just his natural progression into the NFL in his NFL career. Because look at how it is. Starting with 1,400 yards in his rookie season, 1,616 yards in year two, and an astonishing, sorry, couldn't think of the word, 1,809 yards last season. Now, this is going to be a challenge because to reach this coveted title, he has to average somewhere around 118 yards per game, plus or minus a few yards, depending on how good the game is and how many, if he plays the full four quarters. Now, that's 118 yards per game over 17 games. Okay? So, given Jefferson's undeniable talent and second year of Kevin O'Connell's offense system, this is a very much reachable milestone for him, okay? Plus, add on to the fact that he has now new teammates in Jordan Atkinson and why am I forgetting the other guy's name? Damn it. But his other teammates who are expected to draw more opposition from the defense. We can see truly this happening. Yeah. At number 3, we have the Lions winning a playoff game. Blah. The Lions win a playoff game, match, everything. Yes. What? Yes, I said it. They will win a playoff match. Look, Detroit finds themselves in an excellent position to capture their first NFC North Division title. Okay? Something they have not been able to do since it was the NFC Central back in 1993. I was literally like 2 years old when that happened. Okay? This opportunity has presented itself due to the uncertainty surrounding Green Bay, which I already talked about. In their post-Aaron Rodgers era, Minnesota Vikings having such inconsistency from season to season, and Chicago Bears, the Chicago Bears actually still being in a rebuilding phase. Although their rebuild is moving faster than we expected, you can actually make a chance that these two teams are going to battle it out for the title. Now, if the Lions seize this moment, they not only stand to win the division, but also secure a playoff berth. And because they win the NFC North, they will be granted the privilege of hosting a playoff game, which, with the talented roster that they currently have, does possess the potential to make a meaningful impact in the postseason. Furthermore, considering that the NFC as a whole is very vulnerable right now, a lot of teams are rebuilding, and a lot of teams that are going to make the playoffs truly aren't ready to be there, with the only 3 potential powerhouses being the San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, and the Philadelphia Eagles as the 3 that are potentially going to be in the NFC Championship and Super Bowl. The Lions are perfectly set way to be able to win their division, win a playoff game, and even make a pretty damn strong run to maybe the divisional round and even the NFC Championship if they get their shit together. At number 2, we have the Cardinals going 0-17 as the first team to do it. with the added games. So the possibility of a winless season isn't merely a bold prediction here, ladies and gentlemen. It's what we are all expecting. Now, while the Week 1 clash against the Commanders and Sam Howell uh, may not appear as a real challenge for the Cardinals, which I actually have Carolina winning against the Cardinals, given that I don't trust Sam Howell. The Commanders actually have done a very good job at, on the surface, really becoming a formidable opponent with their roster, adding new defensive weapons, offensive weapons, and of course Eric the enemy, as the new offensive coordinator. Plus, they're playing at FedEx Field, so everybody's gonna be excited now that Dan Snyder is gone. Again, this is a one that could either help them in their decisions or could hurt the Commanders, but either it could go 50-50. Conversely, the Cardinals seem poised. Well, let me be more specific. The Cardinals, we all thought that they were going to start Colt McCoy. Then they traded for Josh Dobbs and released Colt McCoy, giving us all the question of, what the heck are they doing? Now the 0-17 seems even more of a statement that could actually happen and probably will. On top of that, they're missing DeAndre Hopkins. And of course, again, Jonathan Gannon, first-time potential head coach, and everything he's going through. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Plus, some actually are thinking that General Manager Monty Osborne is adopting the long-term strategy alongside with. Because I say this, because their strategic decisions that they have made, such as parting ways with Hopkins, Onserford also orchestrated an impressive draft trades that significantly gave them almost, if I'm correct, 3 first-round picks in the 2024 NFL Draft, 2 of which could potentially be in the top 5. Furthermore, it's worth noting that the 2024 draft is expected to showcase very much rise of quarterback talent, such as Caleb Williams. Okay? So, given Kyler Murray's injury history and performance, they might just say, hey, screw it. We're done. 0-17. Get that number 1 pick. And at number 1, my Dallas Cowboys will make the NFC Championship. Now, several factors are in play here, and some of you doubt me and Dallas' ability to make a deep playoff run this time. But one of the key concerns that you're going to give me is, well, Mike McCarthy is the play caller now. Okay? And of course, the San Francisco 49ers have our number and our kryptonite. Okay. Oh, and Dak Prescott's sudden turnovers is just a horrifying trend. Okay, I get it. Those are reasonable things. However, despite these obstacles, it's evident that the Cowboys have significantly upgraded their roster compared to previous seasons. Why do I say this? Well, the addition of Brandon Cooks provides substantial boost to the passing game. They got rid of Ezekiel Elliott in his contract, which aids in money issues to keep for more players. And what really helps is the trade that they did with the Colts for Stephon Gilmore. This fortifies the defense under Dan Quinn, who has done great as a defensive coordinator. Now, it's unlikely that Prescott will replicate the same turnover-prone performance of last season. All right, not many do it historically, so that's also in our favors. Now, whether you like the Cowboys or not, you cannot deny that they have gotten better. They have improved. They currently rank them on the top 3 teams like I said, in a relatively weak NFC. This season presents compelling opportunities for them to embark on a successful playoff journey, especially following 2 consecutive 10-12 win seasons. Okay? On top of that, their schedule's very easy. There's really no reason for them not to make the playoffs or the NFC Championship. But this wraps up our intriguing look at 10 bold NFL predictions in the ever unpredictable NFL world. This daring forecast excites their upcoming season. So let me know what you guys think about it. But for now, Panda, take us to our next topic. Thank you, Panda. So, welcome to an exciting chapter in college football, where we turn our attention to the upcoming 2023 season. But we're going to dabble into something intriguing. Okay? In this section, I'm going to spotlight the underdog teams or sleepers who might emerge as a dark horses capable of securing victories and securing a championship in each Power 5 conference. So get ready to explore the potential surprises and under-the-radar contenders as we break down this college football landscape for the season ahead. I want to see what you guys think. So we're going to start with the ACC. We know that they might fall apart, they might not, but they're still going to play this season. So, who could win their season? Who's their dark horse, their sleeper? The North Carolina Tar Heels. What? Some of you thought it was going to be Louisville. I like the Tar Heels more. Why? In the 2022 season, UNC had a strong start with a 9-1 record and even reached the ranking as high as 13 in the AP poll. However, their season took a negative turn on a 4-game losing streak to close out the season. Interestingly enough, during that challenging stretch, the Tar Heels rarely suffered blowout losses, and then notably held a substantial lead against Oregon in the Holiday Bowl, only to fall apart at the end of the game. Okay? This came as a surprise to me because after all that, head coach Mac Brown expressed that the team believes they were on the verge of putting everything together last season, and now they have learned a valuable lesson on overcoming such obstacles. He said, "We're on the verge," Brown told reporters a couple of weeks ago. Though we weren't content with our finish, we understand the areas where we could have performed better to achieve a stronger finish, and that is exactly what we aim to do. In other words, they're learning from what they did last year and applying it to this year. That should tell you a lot. Plus, those losses that they have, they weren't bad. Like, they came down to the wire. Think about that. In the Big Ten, come on. You take out Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan. Who do you have left? The Wisconsin Badgers, man. Wisconsin Badgers. So, the recurrent pattern of the Big Ten West teams reaching the conference title game in reality is probably going to continue happening in 2023. However, the one team that does stand out as a potential deal breaker for this trend is the Wisconsin Badgers. In his first season, Coach Luke Fickell is focused on establishing offensive consistency. The Badgers feature, this is actually enhanced by the fact that the Badgers feature one of college football's premier running backs in Braylon Allen, who impressively has achieved back-to-back 1,200-yard seasons. Plus, they have a new quarterback and the potential successor to lead this team in Tanner Mordecai. His performance as a transfer from SMU is really what's going to help them be the underdogs. Tanner Mordecai has been has learned under the likes of Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and Spencer Radlers. Okay, Mordecai boasts also remarkable track records, such as amassing over 7,100 passing yards and more than 70 touchdowns during his seasons at SMU, with the crucial return of a very impressive offensive line with all their starters and a solid defensive unit. Maybe not as dominant as we want them, but still solid. The Badgers appear well prepared to contend in this offense-oriented division. In the Big 12, you may say, well, you're probably going to pick the newcomers, but let's be serious. Who do you have? The UCF Knights. Yeah, huge underdogs there, ladies and gentlemen. But why them? Well, we know that the highly competitive Big 12 has several teams that are ready to go. Texas, Oklahoma, that's no secret. Kansas State aims to defend their title. And let's not forget, TCU is still railing that after that 22 season. Okay? Now, we also know that there is some anticipation surrounding Texas Tech, which arguably is true. Okay? But UCF presents the most significant challenge in 2023. Largely thanks to their dynamic player, John Rhines Plumlee. The Knights' offensive setup resembles that of the 2012 West Virginia team, who had an agile quarterback and two seasoned playmakers in senior transfer Javon Barker and Kobe Hudson. Interestingly enough, that 2012 team really made what Virginia is and was. That being said, this is USCF's debut is looking like West Virginia in 2012. On the defensive side of the ball, they face formidable tests against Texas and Oklahoma, but they also face Boise State, Kansas State, and Texas Tech, all which boast returning quarterbacks. Anticipate a high-octane offense performance, ensuring that UCF's first year in the Big 12's bounce house will be a season to remember. I guarantee it. The Pac-12, again, another conference that could be here today, could not be here tomorrow, but this year they're playing. Who do I have? The Washington Huskies. In 2022, Washington made quite an impact with 11 victories and a 7-game win streak to finish off the season. Looking ahead to this year, the Huskies are in a very good position with 14 returning starters, including their quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. And their top 5 receivers are also coming back. Now, there are concerns about the offensive line due to the departure of their starting interior linemen and their limited additions via the transfer portal or in recruiting. But even then, Washington has brought in transfer running back Dylan Johnson from Mississippi State and wide receiver Jermaine Bernard from Michigan State, which is going to help that offense, which ranked second in the nation last season with an average of 515.8 yards per game. Defensively, the Huskies boast a standout defense with Braylon Trance leading the way. So, according to Pro Football Focus, Trice was a force in last year's seasons, leading the nation with 67 total pressures, tallying 9 sacks, which add on to the 2020 All-American Zion Tupaola Feitui and 6-year senior Tule Letugizano. Sorry if I butchered those names. Washington is poised to be a strength to be reckoned with in the Pac-12. Now, do they poise the most strong and formidable defense and offense? But they also got a defensive backfield by adding. They also added to the defensive backfield by adding standout cornerback Jabbar Muhammad from Oklahoma State through the transfer portal. So in reality, they're there. They could win this. Very rarely do you see something different like that. And of course, in the SEC, we have my Texas A&M Aggies. What? You're being a hypocrite. Why not somebody else? Let me tell you why. And this comes as a trend to everybody else. Okay? Last year, A&M came in high expectation and ended up having just one of the most disappointing 22 seasons of all time. Making 2023 a very crucial season, not only for Texas A&M football, but for Coach Jimbo Fisher. Okay? His job's on the line. But here's the thing. The team has undergone coaching staff changes and is in a bid to reverse their fortunes. And their success in the SEC West largely hinges on the development of former five-star quarterback Connor Wiggum, who is developing better. Now, why do I say he's developing better? Well, he's benefiting from the return of his starting trio of wide receivers and the majority of his offensive line. Add on to that, on the defensive side of the ball, the Aggies welcome back 8 starters, including 3 players who recorded 7 or more sacks last year. Or previous seasons, not just last year. Now, there's also other players that you need to watch on this team, such as Walter Nolan and Sherman Stewart, along with the defensive line as they embark on their sophomore campaign. Both are great defensive ends and they can do great things. Okay, A&M pass defense topped last year and has been further fortified was one of the top pass defenses last year. And they added notable 4-star cornerback Tony Grimes from UNC, Sam McCall from Florida State, and Josh DeBerry from Boston College. All made the move from the ACC to College Station, earning recognition as a top 25 transfer class in their transfers in their respective positions. All right? In other words, they've all gotten better. People need to watch out. But as we dabble into this exciting landscape of college football predictions of 2023, keep an eye on the sleepers that claim victory in their respective Power 5 conferences. Don't be surprised by them. The upcoming season will bring thrilling surprises, which really we want to see. We love to see the underdog rise to the occasion and take it all. So stay tuned and get excited for it. But for now, Panda, take us to our next topic. Thank you, Panda. So, the NFL preseason, unfortunately, is shorter than the regular season. But just because it's shorter does not mean it's not packed with valuable insight and intriguing developments that offer us a glimpse into the upcoming football year. So as the dust settles on this 2023 preseason, let's dive into some of the key takeaways that have caught the attention of analysts and football enthusiasts alike. Everything from the rising star to the most unexpected storylines. This preseason has had it all. So let's look at our 10 things that we've learned about it. At number 10, I have Deshaun Watson seeming very much comfortable in Cleveland. Why do I say this? Well, Cleveland had some urgency, after acquiring Deshaun Watson last season. even given his struggles, having Watson at the helm was what they wanted. Okay? This urgency now trickled into the 2023 season. This is evident by Watson's preseason playing time. He has orchestrated 2 touchdown drives despite a 50% completion rate, demonstrating a solid connection with key targets, like Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and David Njoku. They've also added Elijah Moore to the mix as another top target. This makes the Browns a little more polished offensively for the 2023 season. Okay? While the debate's still out there about signing Watson due to his various considerations, the Browns do possess a formidable offensive line and a respectable arsenal of weapons. Plus, those 2 touchdown drives, he seemed like he was back to normal. I think that's what we needed to see. He's very much comfortable there. We'll just have to wait and see how the season plays out. Number 9. The NFC East promises to be quite intriguing. Not that they aren't always, considering we haven't had a back-to-back champion since 2003-2004. So, the Eagles and the Cowboys have formidable rosters. We know that, especially with the Cowboys adding Trey Lance to back up Dak Prescott. The Giants and Commanders have also enhanced their supporting talents to back up quarterbacks Daniel Jones and Sam Howell. Okay, add on 2 key elements to watch will be Darren Waller's health and the potentiality of being the top receiver for Daniel Jones, and Eric Bieniemy's confidence in Sam Howell to manage his offense consistently. It's safe to say that the NFC East is poised to deliver us some of the most thrilling football this season. Watch. It's going to be interesting. Number 8. A breakout for the Bears is on the horizon. Yeah. So, after witnessing Justin Fields and DJ Moore in the preseason, it's clear that there's no reason to delay what they did in the offseason, or to delay to say that this is in the horizon. Okay? Despite Moore's lone catch on Saturday, a dazzling 40-yard reception, which highlighted his impressive skills after making the catch. In the opening series, Fields came close to connecting with Moore for a long touchdown as well. Moore's presence significantly bolstered the Bears' receiving core, especially with Khalil Herbert's return to health and Cole Kmet's potential for a standout season. Okay, this marks a notable shift as the Bears are now relevant in the NFC and within their division, and with promising matchups against softer defense and inconsistent defense, I should say, like Minnesota, and the unsure of what to expect from Detroit. This is kind of set up for them. Fields also seems poised to be a legitimate QB1 for the Bears. With the high expectations of Moore to outperform his own ADP is even there, all this is justified that this breakout can happen. And I actually have them winning their division and a playoff game this year. Number 7. Bryce Young could undoubtedly benefit from your prayers and perhaps some offensive line help. The Panthers' top draft pick impressed us last year. Okay? I mean, impressed us in the offseason. Okay? From his personality to his playing style, it was beautiful. However, judging by the preseason, he might need several more years to have a dependable offensive line and receiving core. This sounds more like what happened to Justin Fields in Chicago. The offensive line has a lot of issues. And even though they've hired Frank Wright as their head coach, adding promising rookie left tackle Ike McConnell does help. But for the 2023 season, the only reliable wide receiver they have is Adam Thielen. That's enough said, huh? I still have him winning 4 to 6 games out of luck. Lucky for them, I believe they do play. If I recall correctly, they do play Arizona. So that should be an easy 1-win. But it's going to take a while for them to get where they want to be. At number 6, we have the Steelers offense on the verge of a significant improvement. Okay? Some people are going to say that they're going to have a glow up and everything. No, I think significant improvement is the best way to explain it without being too forward with the situation. So, fans in Pittsburgh are less than thrilled about everything that's going on with them. I understand. But second-year cornerback Kenny Pickett has demonstrated his abilities to move the ball effectively in the preseason, which showed his improvement from last season. This also helped it was also aided by George Pickens' remarkable sideline catches and Jaylen Warren's dynamic play alongside Najee Harris. Okay? Plus, Najee Harris has been playing great. The team has also strengthened its offensive line and has a reliable options at tight end with Pat Ferryman. With these improvements, the Steelers appear ready to have a more notable presence in a competitive AFC North. I'm not saying they will beat the Bengals, but don't be surprised if they get the number 2 spot and sneak into the playoffs. Number 5. Sneakily, the Raiders may have found their quarterback of the future. Sneakily. Now, why do I say this? You're saying, well, he's okay. They still have Jimmy Garoppolo. But is it too early to give you a definitive answer? Yes. But I like what I'm seeing. Aiden O'Connell is quickly reshaping my belief into what he's doing. This 4th-round rookie out of Purdue has impressed and orchestrated several scoring drives in meaningful preseason outings, boasting an impressive 70% completion rate without any interceptions, while lacking the mobility that we're used to now seeing from a quarterback. O'Connell has also exhibited pocket poise and appears poised to begin the season as the team's backup quarterback. Yes, they have Jimmy G, but he's not the long-term answer, and needing is head coach John McDaniels. But I think Aiden O'Connell could be their answer to long-term future. At number 4, I have... What did I learn at number 4? Expect some turbulence ahead for the Indianapolis Colts. So, in the preseason, Anthony Richardson truly displayed what he's renowned for, his speed and his confidence. All this was things that Scout admired during his college days, accumulating an impressive 38 rushing yards in the first half of the most recent preseason game, including a 16-yard burst for a first down. However, his performance had a downside. as he struggled with the passing game as we all said he would, compelling only 6 of 17 attempts and averaging just over 4 yards per pass. Why is this bad? You may say, well, he's a rookie. He doesn't know better. Well, when they took him out of the games and Colts backups came to play, they combined for 15 completions on 19 attempts. Now, it is noting that Richardson did face a different defensive competition than his two backups. The gap between his performance and that of his counterparts underscores the rookie's need for significant improvement in consistency. Now, while Richardson has the potential for multiple 100-yard rushing games this season, his passing accuracy currently appears quite limited, and some growing pains are to be expected and should be expected with the Colts fan base. Lucky for him, Jonathan Taylor being in the lineup should help ease up some of that stress, but the struggles are going to come. Just wait and see. At number 3, I have Baker takes the helm in Tampa, but he's not the one who benefits from it. Who does? Let's talk about it. So, we all know Baker Mayfield now is the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And while Mayfield completed all 6 of his passes in a recent outing, his average 7.2 yards per completion doesn't make him an all-star player. So, if he doesn't benefit from his starting, who does? The person, based on his performance in the preseason, the person who benefits the most is actually Chris Godwin. He's the one that we need to watch. Godwin caught all 4 passes thrown his way, tallying 30 yards and a touchdown. His average reception distance of 7.5 yards closely aligns with Mayfield's performance. While Godwin may not be expected to rack up massive yardage, he is looking as a very valuable asset like he's been the last few years. With the potential to exceed 100 reception, if he stays healthy, this could be actually his breakout year. Now, there are some reservations about Tampa's offense and Mayfield's ability to run that offense. Even then, Godwin does appear to be the player worth having and worth looking at, especially in situations where the team is playing from behind. Sorry, Mike Evans, your streak of 1,000-yard seasons may come to an end this year. That hurts me, actually. Number 2, no worries for the Chiefs at wideout. That's the truth. So, in 2022, we all have concerns about the loss of All-Pro Tyreek Hill and the Chiefs. They weren't worried. Now in 2023, the focus shifted and said, hey, let's help Travis Kelce just blow up and perform great. Yeah, that's what they did. Now, while it's evident that Kelce and Patrick Mahomes can carry the Kansas City team, several emerging talents such as Sky Moore, Rashee Rice, and even Amir Smith-Marset have demonstrated their knack for making big plays during this preseason. Interestingly enough, only one of them might receive substantial opportunities this season. But one thing we all know is that Andy Reid's offensive system is known for thriving regardless who's at wideout. So again, let's be serious. Let's not worry about the Kansas City Chiefs and their wideout problem. And at number 1, Jordan Love appears to possess something special. I've learned that. I'm not giving them a lot of hope, but I think Jordan Love has something special for reals. While the real attention has been moved to the Jets and Aaron Rodgers this new season, it really does speak a lot to his ability to move on. While the regular season will be the ultimate test for Love, he has shown some effective productivity and most importantly composure in all 3 of the preseason starts. While his college days showcase his strong arm, his ability to place touch passes in the red zone have been the reason why I feel that he has something special going on. And what we are waiting to see will come out this year. I think due to the lack of defensive talent and the lack of weapons that he's going to have and the lack of offensive line will hurt him. There is still hope in our hearts that could be something different. With the NFL preseason in the rearview mirror, ladies and gentlemen, we've gained valuable insight in the ever-evolving landscape of the NFL. From standout rookies to unforeseen challenges, these 10 takeaways provide a compelling narrative as we approach the regular season. And as the NFL gears up for kickoff, stay tuned for more thrilling moments and surprises because I don't think those are over. But for now, Panda, take us to our next topic. Thank you, Panda. And as the college football season kicks off, every game, even in week 0, carries significant weight for teams and players looking to make a statement. In this recap, we'll dive into the early winners and losers, examine the standout performances, unexpected upsets, and impacts of the opening clashes, whether it was on the road or at home. Let's look at the winners and losers for week 0 in college football. Starting off with the winners, Sam Hartman. So, touted as one of the most impactful offseason transfers, the former Wake Forest standouts now holds the helm at Notre Dame. Okay, he delivered an outstanding performance with a 19 for 23 pass completion rate, amassing 251 yards and 4 touchdowns without a single interception. Remarkably, this game marked the 9th time since the start of the 21 season that Hartman has thrown at least 3 touchdowns without a pick. For those who believed in Hartman's potential rejuvenation at Notre Dame, and the fact that he was going to be the one to rejuvenate the offense, might be right. His performance on Saturday provided strong evidence that he could be the missing link to propel the program back to its championship ways. Another winner, it's actually USC and Caleb Williams. But we kind of expected that. He is the Heisman Trophy winner. USC had a convincing 56-28 victory over San Jose State, with Caleb Williams leading the charge by amassing 285 yards and throwing 4 touchdowns. Under his guidance, the Trojans scored touchdowns in 6 of the 8 possessions. But the real kicker is they pulled off something genuinely extraordinary. While Williams still has a long journey ahead of him to be able to aim for a second Heisman, something that hasn't been done since Archie Griffin did it back in 1974 and 1975 with Ohio State. His remarkable numbers on Saturday did help boost his statistical numbers. Not to mention, it made everyone look awe-inspiring. That's a winner for me. And of course, Jacksonville State is my other winner. On the surface, Jacksonville State, a recent addition to the FBS, pulling off a 17-14 win over UTEP, a team that's teetering on the edge of bowl eligibility, is truly nothing to see as eye-opening or eyebrow-raising. It's the truth. But that does not surprise me. But don't be surprised. Before moving up to the FBS, JSU was a prominent program, as we have seen, in the championship subdivision, and has had a reputation of being a formidable opponent in matchups against FBS team, coming in their most famous upset as a 2017 victory against Florida State 2 years ago. Even though they won't be eligible for a Conference USA championship or a bowl game in 2023, the Gamecocks have manageable schedule ahead of them, and attaining minimum 6 wins is honestly something they can easily do. Do not be surprised that they can win almost all their games and be the undisputed team that should go to the conference championship in the bowl game, but due to their eligibility, they won't be able to. Just saying, don't be surprised by this. The losers. Ohio's offense. Ohio's offense, not Ohio State, just Ohio. So, I'm a little disappointed by this. I'm not gonna lie. I realized that potential heavily relied on their quarterback's health, Curtis Rourke. Okay? I admit it. Based on what I read, I thought he was gonna be alright. Because despite suffering that ACL injury that prematurely ended his 22 season in November, he made a recovery in time for the season opener against San Diego State. Unfortunately, that didn't work out like I thought it was. Roque had to exit the game to an unspecified injury, and the Bobcats struggled in his absence. CJ Harris threw 3 interceptions and missed a 31-yard field goal, and a 31-yard missed field goal early in their third quarter added to the depth of issues that they have. And challenges. The Bobcats' prospects for a champion still largely depend on Roku's availability when conference play begins on September 23rd against Bowling Green. That's the problem here. We don't know how healthy he is. If he's not healthy, there goes the offense. Another loser is Navy. So, Notre Dame and Navy have faced off in various locations, except, of course, in Annapolis. Which, by the way, if you've never been to Annapolis, I highly recommend you go. It's a beautiful campus. I've gone there. I've seen them. It's just a beautiful campus. Outside of the history, it's just the scenery is beautiful. Everything about it. It's highly recommended that you go. That, West Point, and the Air Force Academy are all just beautiful places to go. Highly recommend. But the Irish have a dominant track record in this series, boasting 82 wins and 13 losses with 1 tie. They embarked on an astonishing 43-game win streak commencing since 1964 and handed out defeats in cities such as Baltimore, Chicago, South Bend, Philadelphia, and even Cleveland. However, Dublin stands out as an incredible, unfriendly venue for the Navy, where they suffered 2 of their most one-sided losses in the series, with the recent 42-3 defeat and a 50-10 thrashing back in 2010. Again, not a good start for Navy. Continuing to show that it's kind of bad. New Mexico State, another loser. So, NMSU has a unique appeal, including the eye-catching Serapis Serapes, that the team sported during their pre-game entrance to the Aggie Memorial Stadium. Not gonna lie, when I saw them, I was like, I want that. Yes, I love it. You go, girl. But outside of those quite impressive outfits, nothing went well for them after that. Losing to UMass isn't what they wanted or should have done, especially for a team and program facing a tough road to secure 6 wins and becoming bowl eligible. Just saying. At the end of the day, the college football season officially coming underway with week 0 now in the books. We've seen thrilling victories, surprising upsets, and many storylines that will follow us throughout the weeks ahead. As teams regroup and fans eagerly await the following slate of games, the winners and losers of week 0 have set the stage for an exciting season ahead. So stay tuned for more gridiron action because it's coming. It's coming crazy. But Panda, take us to our next step. As you see, this is all the time we have for the show. Thank you so much for listening or watching, whether it's on YouTube or Roku TV. I appreciate it, and I love every single one of you for it. No, truly, guys, I thank you so much for listening. I mean, we covered a lot. Topics like my 10 NFL bowl predictions. Tell me what you think of that. Am my predictions right? Am I wrong? Why am I wrong? Tell me. Let's talk about it. Let's get on it, ladies and gentlemen. Are my 5 dark horses for the Power 5 conferences correct? Is A&M going to be that guy? Are they going to cause that upset? Is Washington prepared to win the Pac-12? The Tar Heels, UCF, and the Big 12, are they going to deny Oklahoma and Texas a chance to leave the Big 12 with the championship? We'll have to wait and see, but tell me what you think. Of course, the lessons that the preseason teaches us every year, and arguably one that I did not put on there, is it don't matter whether you win every preseason game or lose every preseason game. At the end of the day, the regular season will be what sets up your future. But this teaches us that preseason, it truly teaches us a lot of things. And of course, tell me if the winners and losers of week 0 are correct. Did the Irish really rejuvenalize their offense? Is New Mexico State really gonna suck that bad? Tell me. I want to hear from you guys. I want to understand. Please, let me know what you guys think. Okay? As always, guys, please follow us on all social media, from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook. And of course, you can listen to the show anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Truly. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for more exciting sport updates. Until then, keep playing hard and stay safe out there. Bye-bye.